So we're jumping straight into draft.
Yeah, and one of the most exciting things about these teams is the draft specifically. This G2 kind of brings that spark of life of the old G2 and their dominance with how versatile they are in Champion Pool. Kalista's banned here. It has been banned now 12 games in a row versus Hans Sama. Red side, blue side, does not matter. Nobody is letting Hans Sama get that, and the Draven pairs with it nicely.
Exactly. They do not want Hans piloting either one of those marksman picks. Over on the other side, G2 is going to take the Xayah out of the pool, as well as that incredibly popular Orianna that has proven so powerful in so many mid lane matchups so far.
How confident are you guys feeling on FBI's champion pool? Because while you are banning out a lot of these power picks in the bot side of the map, it does mean that that pool is getting smaller. With Kai'Sa now being one of the highest priority champions potentially up and available, are you guys still feeling confident in his ability to go up against a player like Hans?
FBI, even though he didn't use a tremendous amount of AD carries, actually feels really confident on a wide array. So I think they will be able to find something for him, no problem, even with 4 right now, 80 carry bans, and Kai'Sa kind of being left up dangling. It's Kai'Sa and Azir right now, dangling over everyone.
The Maokai as well, something with the Rumble too, both very prevalent champions in the current meta. And they're all going to be left up. All right, so what will the priority be here for NRG? Do they want to get themselves that Kai'Sa, potentially giving over the Rumble Jarvan that we've been seeing a lot of answers for on the red side?
I feel like the Kai'Sa is the safer way to go, or the Rumble. Rumble has been exceptional here, and it was something that Dokla pulled out in the LCS Finals, which he had not played before the LCS Finals. They had to invest a lot of time into him practicing. Oh, they go with the Nico, though, the playmaking here. I'm assuming it's for Palafox. We've seen some North American support. Nico, I would not like to see any more today, though.
I concur with that statement. I think that this should definitely be the mid lane pick there for Palafox, but it definitely seems like an audacious choice going for it first with all these power picks that you guys were talking about still being left up. That Kai'Sa being a huge one with all of these marksmen already banned away. I feel like NRG has to have the expectation that G2 is going to lock that in.
I wonder what the priority will now be. Often from G2 we'll see something like a Maokai or a Rel. Two things that, okay.
All right,
so
good call.
Rel can of course be flexed. Both Mickey and Yike are very proficient at the champion, and G2 are going to be happy with that level of flexibility.
And probably they can drop a Maokai to the next pick if they actually want it, because we're already seeing Nico from NRG and generally not going to want like AP mid plus jungle there. So let's see what they decide to go with. Rakan is up. They want to split up that engage combination possibly. But Big Dokes is just going to go for the blind Cassante here off the bat.
The blind Cassante. So we've got what we're assuming to be double blind solo laners as the first 2 picks here for the side of NRG. Do they want to just go ahead and complete this with the jungle here, hovering the Vi for quite a while?
Vi hasn't had too much success recently, but it does pair with Nico as super hard, guaranteed engage for this team. And something that we heard in Lore's interview with Demonte, one of the NRG coaches, is that they want to have an explosive early game, and these point and clicks and this guaranteed engage is one way to get that. And then they also want to have more controlled mid games after they get there, but that's going to be a couple steps forward.
Yeah, I wonder if their game plan is to attack Caps, and answering with a Syndra, very much powerful in the lane, but without your flash, you suffer the same problems a champion like Orianna does. Very easy lockdown on the side of NRG. Cassante, Vine, Nico, all very lethal champions that without your flash, you're in some very serious danger here if your name is Caps.
Exactly. I'm going to be looking at Caps on this pick to be able to absorb that pressure, respond to it. By locking in the Syndra, you are throwing down the gauntlet, placing the red flag in front of the bull, and just daring them to charge at you. So we'll see how well he can handle that as we move forward. The Rakan banned away here by G2 as the first ban in the second phase. We've seen some pretty amazing plays out of this champion so far at Worlds 2023. They don't want to give Ignar the opportunity to do so. We know it's one of his favorite support champions.
I mean, earlier, Vedius posed the question, what is FBI going to play? Now it becomes like, what does NRG have in store for this bottom lane? Because we are going to get real deep in the bans here and go real far down on the tier list, both for AD carry as well as support, because G2 can fire off another one.
It looks like NRG a little concerned about that top matchup, the Olaf ban, something that we saw a lot from Broken Blade during the regular season. I think a Jax ban would also make sense, something that some laning phases, Broken Blade didn't have the best of performances, but in team fights, wow, he was able to have some massive impact in the later game fight. So I definitely think that if they want to make sure they can have a more favorable matchup, that or the Rumble are two champions you have to be concerned about on the top side.
Rumble blind pick has done wonders. Rumble into Cassante, Rumble into Jax, all these things. Rumble has not been countered significantly here, and they're going to continue to whittle down. They really feel like it is going to be the support rel, it looks like here.
Okay.
With the Viego ban.
The Viego's banned away. Olaf, Renata Glass, the last ban there from G2. So double support ban in the second half. Renata normally drafted if you want to make sure that you can go in with a big team-wide engage and not have that counter engage available from the enemy support position. So they'll take that off the table. What is going to be the lock-in here? The Jax picked up for G2.
All right, and it looks like we're going to get one of these pushing lanes, bottom lane for FBI and Ignar. Both Ashe and Ziggs will accomplish that.
Curious as to what direction they go.
Ooh, the Senna, they bring back the Senna. They already pulled out the Senna TK once. It was very successful. This is also one of FBI's specialty champions here. So we'll see if they can do it again. Very tanky on the side of NRG. They've got a lot of defense.
I like it. I mean, it gives you pretty good scaling options as well. A very solid front line, a lot of peel. The concern you have to have if you're NRG is G2 is not afraid to dive bot. And when you have a composition like this, their eyes are immediately going to be glued to that side of the map, as Yike is going to round out with one of his old school carry junglers.
Amazing, love it. Anytime we get Yike, either Kha'Zix or Bel'Veth, I get excited. One of the most exciting rookies to come out of Europe in a very long time.
Oh yeah.
The jungler here. He pretty much is the jungler that made Blabber and Contracts and a lot of these NA junglers I was talking to start practicing Bel'Veth on the patch because it was so strong and because Yike had such an impact with it. So anytime you see that champion pick, you have to look for level 1 invades. Raptors are coming at a premium because Bel'Veth annihilates those Raptors. We'll see if NRG can hold on to theirs.
So, I mean, NRG's game plan here, they have to find advantages through mid in the early game. That is the lane where I think they have a lot of power to look for attacks, especially if you're able to burn that Syndra flash early. Repeated plays in that mid can open up the map a lot more to especially make it harder for Caps to get priority and look for these dives bot, which again is where I think you need to keep your eyes on G2. They're going to be looking for invades. They're going to be looking to use their push to set up Yike, to steal away camps and make life miserable for Contracts. The early game is going to be a struggle between these two mid laners as they fight for control.
Yep, and I love the fact that you bring up Contracts. He's a jungler that when this team looks their best, a lot of times it's off of him being the facilitator. It's off of him driving the car straight across the finish line, leading the way for him. He's a jungler who has been through some highs and some lows, and now that he's back here on the world stage on the North American #1 seed team, I've got high expectations for him again.
Great point. It has been 6 years in the making since Contracts was on the world stage with Cloud9, working so hard to get back here, and he's had to go through a long and arduous journey to get here, dipping all the way down into the Academy League, working his way back up onto the world stage. And NRG, he's one in a long line of the underdogs here on this lineup.
2017 was Contracts' last Worlds. And it's crazy to think that 2018 was Caps' debut to the World Championship. And since then, he's kind of grown into an incredible mid laner. Actually, no, what am I talking about? Even 2017, I think Caps was actually when he introduced alongside Fnatic, along with that Reckless roster. Crazy the trajectories that some of these players have had as Caps has kind of grown to be.
Caps kind of stayed on the world stage.
Yeah, he did. I mean,
Contract dipped back down.
Very different journeys, right?
Yeah.
And it's a great opportunity for so many of these NRG players to go against many of the big names that Europe has to offer.
All right, as we get a little auto-attack trading in the top lane, a reminder to all y'all out there, connect your League of Legends account with Prime Gaming to grab the exclusive experimentation emote as we start things off. Bel'Veth is on her chicken camp, as everybody would expect her to be, but it's not her chicken camp. It's the energy camp that they failed to protect early on. They had to be expecting something like this to happen.
And I want to point out the defense wards here. It's not just the level 1 invade that's expected from Bel'Veth. We have double wards here from G2 to see about the attempts to split the map there from Contracts, because they know for sure G2 taking away your red quadrant here.
And as well, you look at Caps already trying to get some control in the mid lane so that he can immediately offer support to his jungler should there be any danger here. That is a full bot side clear coming out from Yike. He will be spotted out on this ward.
Ward showing up there means that Yike has to fall back a little bit. FBI and Ignar do want to contest this. Smite cooldown not quite available here for Yike as he takes a little damage from FBI. Mickey and Hansama stepping forward past the enemy tier 1 turret. Yike can secure the large golem, pick up the last little bit here.
And FBI's only level 1 still. He's being zoned away from those minions underneath the tower. Contract's now making his way down, but the damage has already been done. A lot of experience being lost here for the NRG bot lane.
Yeah, and a lot of CS as well. Ignar did not pick up many of that CS at the tower there, so Contracts is kind of forced into a bad spot here. Has to make something happen.
Oh, there we go. The flash out of Caps, nice and early. This is what we talked about back when the pick was locked in, Vedius. You said whenever the flash is down, that's when the danger's on.
All right, I want to go see if Yike is going to try and meet Contracts, because they know Contracts has no camps on his side of the map up. He has to be counter-jungling your chickens at the moment. Here comes Yike. Remember, Caps has no flash?
All right, Yike jumps in, finds the knockup. Contracts immediately flashing away, respecting the Belveth here. Palafox leads his clone out first, but with Yike having control over this 1v1, and you can see Broken Blade also pathing down from topside. Dokla is stuck underneath his turret, so the Jax is able to move, and NRG have to disengage.
Didn't mean to draw on the screen there, but yes, Jax was in fact roaming from topside, and it's something that you'll see a lot from G2, but also something you need to see when playing around a Belveth, right? You have to make sure that you have control to offer assistance every time she's looking for these invades, and Contract's looking for whatever he can, should be able to secure this Grom. I don't know if the pings have actually come down from G2, but Mickey will spot him. They are concerned about that dive.
But instead, they're just immediately going to turn it onto Mickey, force him to crash down back over the other side of the wall into the lane. The rotation from Ignar guarantees that Contracts can pick up that Gromp and stop falling further behind.
Yep, their bottom lane comes up, helps him out a little bit. Looks like we have Belveth coming back towards mid as well. And remember, no flash here either.
Oh, Palafox, he's got to try to get away from this one. Can he out-juke the enemy Belveth? No, it's first blood for Caps.
Nice pickup from G2. Palafox is just trying to push that wave underneath the tower, but Yike sees an opportunity, and now he's found Contracts.
Oh, Contracts walking back into that brush, immediately thinks better of it as Yike was just waiting for him. Falls back into the river now. You can see Mickey still with only a 200 HP down here in the bottom lane. Has Hex Flash, but the real Flash not available. Doesn't look like we're going to get too much more fighting out of this, but getting the first blood on the Syndra back in the mid lane, real big for G2.
And now again, you look at the minimap and you see Yike now here to cover this back and forth coming in from laners and jungler. Laners get pushed to help with their jungler setup on the invade, and then when those lanes need clearing, Yike is there to offer that assistance, making sure that wave gets underneath the tower so that Hans and Mickey can have a safe base. So far this early game going the way in which G2 want. The good news for NRG, not a significant difference in the gold so far.
Yeah, let's see about Ignar though.
Ignar, 150 HP left, trying to walk it off. Thick skin keeps him alive. FBI looking to put the damage into Hansama. Mickey now the one, soaking the damage, and FBI blasts some energy on the board.
Ignar's a tanky boy on the Tom Kench. He can go face check that brush. They bait him in and get the extra kill here onto Mickey. He did flash away because he was worried about the Q from Mickey, but they'll be happy to take that one. And Contracts has been able to kind of stabilize his jungle. Really the payment was that extra kill. The first blood going on to Caps, star player for G2, has been doing so well and has been so driven. They talked about it multiple times, but his interview after MSI and wanting to change how they play, Palafox had a lot of respect for him, but the Belveth comes on, slips right on in. Caps set it up, of course, with his Scatter of the Weak stun, as both mid laners had previously used their flashes, so nice pickup there for G2.
I think G2's bot lane overstayed their welcome when they wanted to push that wave underneath. They took so much chip damage defending against that potential dive, and then they overstayed. A really great punish from the bot lane of NRG will actually give them a very small gold lead for the time being. And we kind of draw attention to the top side of the map as well. Dokla doing very well in the 1v1 matchup, building out that small advantage as well.
It's pretty funny too, because it's not exactly the same, but Ignar on a feeding Tom Kench here or a eating Tom Kench.
Yeah, he's an eating one.
Not a feeding. Farming Tom Kench is kind of shades of thinking back to Misfits when he's playing this Fervor of Battle Leona and surprises everybody by going so aggressive. And then here, when he's up against his old lane mate from Misfits, Hansama, who they had such a miraculous showing with, he's able to get something done again on one of these melee supports.
You could see Dokla there wanting to take advantage of having the level 7 versus level 6 edge over Broken Blade on the Jax. Both of these top laners have those Sheens prepared, so the trades will look pretty even between them right now. Yike again, just showing some presence here in the bottom lane, trying to help Mickey and Hans Sama be able to get this wave shoved in without any sort of a counterattack coming out from NRG.
I mean, credit to NRG's bot lane. They're winning out on these trades. The sustain coming out from FBI is just getting the better of Hans and Mickey. They have that ever so slight experience advantage as well, thanks to the kill that they were able to pick up. And you look at the jungle matchup too, it looked a little dire for Contracts in the early game. It felt like that he was being denied so many camps, but he's been able to equalize that farm. Yike has looked for a lot of opportunities on the map, and that has kind of slowed his jungle clear down. So NRG have been able to stabilize what was a bit of a chaotic early game, and they find themselves with a decent gold lead for now.
If we kind of zoom out, though, and look at what they need to accomplish in this game, I think there is more pressure on NRG to build a lead in the early game and then try and use that to snowball Drakes to actually win this game, because this NRG lineup of champions doesn't have a lot of late game damage.
X flash over the wall from Mickey, but they're ready to turn it around. Pop Blossom onto 2. Senna ulti comes in for the bottom lane, and Contracts goes for the ult. Caps is down, and Yike is on the run. Palafox and Contracts are looking for another, but they'll settle with the kill on G2's mid laner. Mickey barely hops away, but Ignar's going in. He won't quite have the tongue to get it done, but now Yike's got to retreat as well. G2 lose the scrimmage in mid.
Palafaker sees 3 people coming and says, I like those odds. They turn the 2v3 with Contracts and Palafox. Senna ultimate over the top, and the biggest reward is actually going to be extra turret plates. Topside turret plate, mid lane turret plate, and Rift Herald picked up in the aftermath. Vedius, no sooner than I speak the words of NRG need more early game power than they immediately receive a bunch of gold.
We talk about how they needed to play through mid and just great awareness from Contracts, right place, right time. Just as G2 is looking to gain control, look to punish Palafox as he's pushing that wave underneath the tower, they are there to respond, and they respond incredibly well. A 1.5k gold lead now for NRG as they are slowly but surely taking control of this game 1.
And I think that is necessary, again, to kind of reiterate here. G2, they've got the Jax for side lanes for later. They have the dive bomb Kaisa here from Hans Sama. And of course, Cap Syndra to be able to set them up. But NRG, they can work as a team, as a pack here with so much CC to force a lot of engages if they can get control of the neutral objectives early on in the game and try and draw G2 to them.
And I think NRG always looks good when Palafox and Contracts are on the same page, like right here.
Yeah, Palafox, he walks down, they see the 3v2. Senna ultimate was beautiful, right over the top. And Contracts went for the Q onto Yike and then ultimate overthrew both of them. So he's able to get over onto Caps, focusing him down, picking up that kill, and Mickey does indeed live through that one.
I mean, again, great start for NRG. Love the way in which they played around mid lane, and we did talk about in draft how this mid lane struggle is where we're going to see it from both sides. Yeah. Having that control gives you the ability to start moving to sides and having more impact on the map, and once again, G2 return. Mickey level 5, Yike level 7.
All right, Palafox just playing very far back, very respectfully. He knows the enemy bot lane's missing. Contracts starting up the Drake here. This could be a little risky, considering the position of G2's squad. Contract sees Mickey walk right by. He doesn't care.
Yeah, they've got pushing bottom lane here. Nice minion wave pushed all the way into tower. This is a mountain dragon, so it's one of the tankier ones, but it looks like G2 have said, we've had enough of these early game fights.
Yep.
We concede. You do have a very good early game setup, and they don't want to take it. So, NRG, they accomplish it. Rift Herald picked up, into Dragon picked up, and they actually immediately used the Rift Herald again bottom side to really snowball this bottom lane and this Senna pick super early on.
The timing is great as well. Mickey just threw in a recall to get back to base. His hasn't quite hit level 6 yet, and now they're ballooning this gold lead to about 2k. Again, slowly but surely, NRG are building lead after lead, and it's great to see. I want to see them maintain it, though. When we saw them play up against Mad, they had some pretty chaotic fights. We saw them kind of getting down and dirty at times and throwing away good positions, and I think that they can be patient here. They can take their time, and Contract's looking for a play top.
Contracts goes in, flashes to be able to land the ulti, but Dokla's not there for the follow-up in time. Yike gets a two-man knockup, but Broken Blade's got to continue the retreat. However, Dokla still sticking around. Caps has made his way up. He walked over a ward. NRG knows to disengage back in the bottom lane. They see all the G2 bodies up in the top half, so FBI and Ignar know they can push.
Yeah, sometimes, you talk about getting down and dirty, sometimes NRG will just take those chances. Contract says, I will flash for this ultimate. If Yike is not there, we can at least get a flash out of Broken Blade. Maybe they get the kill also. If he is there, they have to back off, though.
A TP's coming in from both sides now. Ignar using the Devour, keeping his AD carry safe, spits it back out now. Palafox looking for the knockup, only finds the Pop Blossom on the Cap. Mickey's still trying to walk away. A lot of damage on both supports, but Mickey's the first to fall. Another TP ready to reinforce the G2 lines, but Broken Blade is already there too late. He gets slowed down by the tongue lash as Palafox waits over the wall, and the play goes no further as Big Dokes picks up some plates in the top lane.
The response from NRG every single time to G2's aggression is perfect. They match the TPs. Ignar buys so much time by using the consume to keep his AD carry alive. Mickey gets separated from his AD carry. NRG find themselves another kill. I don't know if Yike can get the kill here.
Yeah, Dokla flashing away from the knockup. Good moves there. Now he's almost... You see, on any champion that's not Cassante, I would be like, oh yeah, that's just a fluke. But with Cassante, I never know if he's really going to go back in or not.
Well, Yike does force the flash to be burned on that Cassante. Dokla, though, does have his teleport ready, so no problem for him. He can teleport right back to that top wave. Meanwhile, bottom side, Broken Blade gets a turret plate of his own. And again, remember, the Jacks for later. G2 do have quite a few scaling options available to them. Possible side lane play there.
FBI getting stunned up here. They're going to chain see him down, and Caps gets the second kill of the game for G2.
I was not expecting FBI to die there. I really thought he would be fine. What a play and a setup from G2. They find themselves a pick, but now NRG looking for the same bot lane.
Oh, Broken Blade walking into the brush. Contracts is ready to go. Dokla follows it up, and the helicopter crash lands. Contracts gets the fourth kill of the game there for NRG.
Contracts is always such a proactive jungler, looking to make these plays, looking to force them. Dokla now in a 1v2 scenario. With no flash, he'll play it much safer, and they should be fine to get that bottom turret without having to give up anything else. I do, though, to that point about getting the kill onto FBI, quite big for G2, trying to punish that Tom Kench ultimate cooldown timer. Really trying to keep track of that, of how well Ignar is going to be able to keep him safe, because when that is down, that is going to be a huge amount of protection. And you look at that, he's definitely quite a rich boy. So, yeah. During this one, no ultimate means no life for FBI.
And I mean, this pick is straightforward. Broken Blade, he doesn't respect where they could be on the map. He wants to get a bit of vision down, and he gets chain CC. Nicely done by NRG. And now they're looking for Hans Summer.
Hans in some trouble as the Vault Breaker connects, and Palafox pummels them. NRG find the enemy AD carry for the first time this game.
Oh yeah, Hans Summer doesn't flash the Q, and so that's just enough of CC, enough of a little bump there to allow Palafox to hit the follow-up snare off of Contracts. Contracts has been on a warpath here.
In the draft, we wanted to see this Vi Nico having impact on the map, looking for those early skirmishes and then moving out to the sides, and they are doing just that. Now G2 is responding.
G2 ready to look for Dokla here. Caps and Broken Blade putting pressure onto the turret as Dokla knocks Broken Blade back. He forces him to flash away, otherwise the all-out could have been the death of him. Dokla will successfully defend 1v2 and keep the turret standing.
All right, let's look at what this does to the lopsided map pressure, because they're going to send down another champion to bottom side for G2 to harass Dokla, but he's staying there under the turret. Meanwhile, the rest of NRG, teleport comes through. They actually want to go for a counter gank.
All right, they want to bring somebody in to make something happen here. Palafox, he finds the knockup on the enemy jungler. Nearly get 100-0 Yike. The Belvath only stays alive long enough to die to Contracts as Caps wants to run away, and Ignar's ready for the chase. He lands the first tongue lash, and he's ready to get those stacks. Contracts comes in, Caps falls down, FBI gets paid. NRG get 2.
What did NRG eat for breakfast today? Because they are locked in and they are catching G2 off guard across the map. Every aggressive play G2 tries to make, NRG shuts it down.
Oh, Vedius. Do you hear that in the distance? It is the sound of the faithful rallying to the sides of NRG. They are huge underdogs here versus G2, but they are accomplishing the goal they need with this early game snowball composition. The Senna doing wonders for them, and Contracts on this Vi starting out so many plays. This time around, yeah, we already went over it. As soon as that Q hits, he's dead.
And they're keeping it simple, right? You look at what they're doing on the map. They push a wave, they look for something on a side. They push a wave, they look for something on a side. Great TP coming out from Palafox as the rest of NRG entirely collapsed onto Caps. And you look at the minimap, situations like this are often, oh, well, they're getting punished elsewhere. They're overcommitting fight, but they're not. They had the top pushed in. They had the mid wave pushed in. They had the ability to collapse on as 5, and now they're looking for another pick top.
Here we go again. Broken Blade under pressure. Palafox making the rotation up as Dokla goes all out. Dokla, however, very, very low. Reinforced by the Senna ultimate. And the Pop Blossom is so awesome. It's NRG ready to win another one, but now Yank's ready for the follow-up, and Dokla's gonna run. The damage pours through. They lock down the enemy carry. Hansama falls. FBI's free firing. G2 cannot escape. Ace for nothing.
NRG are relentless. It is bottom play into top play into bottom play into top play again. And they've got a Rift Herald to push it ahead.
It is just an absolute slaughter from the side of NRG. It started with the range advantage, then winning skirmishes in the bot 2v2. Mickey now in danger.
Mickey, oh no, buddy, get out of there. The crash down. Will it get him away? He tries to flash, but the 5 will run him down. Contracts is on a rampage.
Cease and desist, my friend. What are we witnessing right now? NRG coming out, firing on all cylinders here. They had the interviews, so many interviews before this match, so much respect for G2, and they knew that they really had to come in and focus on a game plan, and that was early game lead, and then collectively snowballing ahead as we look at this fight again. Man, the re-engage from Palafox is just giant, and these Senna ultimates, Vedius, keep on adding so much effective HP. The damage plus the big shield comes through. Dokla lives the whole time. Ignar eats him up just so he can get right back in there.
Oh yeah.
And finish off the extra kills. And then, as you know as well, there's a Vi ultimate coming here.
NRG just always seem to be 5 faster. It feels like that they're always collapsing first. They find another pick on the Mickey. He now finds himself with 5 deaths as NRG are sieging onto the mid-tier 2. We're not even at 20 minutes yet, and NRG are knocking on the doors of G2's base.
NRG have always been at their best when they are snowballing games, when they get the early lead. Really, really. The big improvements, I have to say, are more in the control of the snowball. And the arena echoes. I love it.
What's wrong?
Man, I am so impressed this game with Palafox's ultimates. I don't think we've seen a single non-impactful Pop Blossom so far. This Nico presence has been awesome to see.
Every player on NRG is just, they don't miss. Every player on NRG right now cannot make a mistake. Contracts interrupting Mickey's crash down there. Later on, finding him with the ultimate as well. That's your MVP, Vedius.
That is our MVP. Thank you for highlighting. I mean, G2 seems scattered. They've been getting caught out multiple times on side lanes. It feels like, I mentioned it earlier, NRG, while they always feel like a 5, G2, 1, 2, it is just pick after pick after pick, and G2 are always slow to respond to the play. The way in which NRG shut down some of those mid lane attempts from Yike and Mickey have been able to snowball off the back of that so effectively. 2 dragons up, a minute until the next dragon. We've seen G2 in these positions before, will be my only caveat to you, gentlemen.
Right,
both Weibo and D+ were able to get massive gold advantages. Admittedly, it was G2's own undoing, where they would throw at Baron. But now with the Baron alive, this is going to be the big test for NRG. Can they secure this cleanly without G2 being a nuisance?
Exactly. This Baron pit has proved a thorn in the side of G2 in their World's Quest so far, but will NRG make the same mistakes? 21 minutes into the game, they're up 10,000 gold. That is a massive lead for the LCS's #1 seed.
Yeah, and Damonte specifically used the word methodical when talking about what improvements NRG needed to make to their late game, to their snowballing game. Now is when you have to implement that. Because you set it up for the big throw, Vedius. Objective bounties are on the table. That is definitely possible. but Dragon should be a much easier take for them. If you're going to be methodical about it and constantly remind them in-game, then you would want to switch down to this Dragon first, pick it up on timer, because you should theoretically be able to accelerate this timer and pick up Dragon Soul as quickly as possible.
I mean, they're keeping it clean, right? They've got the top lane pushed in, they made sure to push in mid before moving into the river, and they're keeping bot pushed with the Cassante hovering in the enemy jungle to just keep that
Those are the
control
shortest
up.
arrows I've ever seen.
Yeah, there was just, to illustrate a point, Kobe. My point was illustrated. NRG playing the clean, easy League of Legends right now, taking the simple objectives and they're not taking any risks. Now what you want to do is move your vision deeper into that top side of the map. In an ideal world, if you could take down that tier 2 in mid lane, it would allow you some very deep vision, but resets need to come through, money needs to be spent, wards need to be replenished, and this is G2's window for a bit of breathing room to maybe look for an opportunity or set up for a potential trap.
I would also mention, at least you've gotten your 2-item power spike for Hans Sama. Hans Sama, who has been so big for G2 here, and once the Rage Blade comes in, then you've got a lot of single target damage with your plasma stacks, and then once you get your Nashers as well, the pick really, really takes off.
So I know we were joking around a little bit earlier. Hey, Vedius, that's your MVP when Mickey got picked. But the reality that I'm looking at is we know this guy is such a big playmaker for G2. He's on one of the best teamfight engaging champions in the game. And I feel like if G2 is going to find an angle back into this one, it's going to need a huge Mickey engage in the round.
I mean, he's 4 levels down Ignar, and if you want to say that Ignar's the one getting all the farm, he's 3 levels down FBI. Like, he has not had a great game right now. And sure, if he can find a good engage, it could be massive. But again, Ignar has so many tools to mitigate a lot of those engages. I think that, like, it's going to be on NRG to lose this game more so than G2
That's
to win.
fair.
Excuse me, I believe that is Bignar. That is no longer Ignar with a 4-level lead.
Oh boy, Contracts waited around in the brush. He got found out. The stopwatch keeps him alive long enough for his team to reinforce. The Senna ulti over the top just to protect him as Ignar showed up. The Devour would have been there, and Caps even used Flash.
They really committed to that play. The stopwatch usage saved his life. And again, we talk about small mistakes. Contracts not realizing that he's sitting on a ward. If he'd lost his life, that could have been a window for G2 to force the Baron. Fortunately for him, he gets away with his life, and NRG hold on to the control.
Yep, those reasons are exactly why Caps decided Flash is worthy there. Because there's also a big bounty on Contract's head. That is the biggest bounty in the game right now because he has been so good with this Vi. And they really do need to take it back. Step by step, be methodical, clear out the vision first. Oh, okay, they're just gonna start the Baron.
All right, they're ready to start going. Keep your eyes on Yike, keep your eyes on Contracts. NRG.
Who's gonna keep him
the
out?
Baron, and they got it down to half HP. G2 on the approach, Contracts over the back wall, Palafox! 3-man pop blossom, but nobody ain't died yet. The first one down, Hans Sama, and G2's in the run. Broken Blade tries to go back over the wall, but FBI's already on a killing spree, and Contracts is gonna be backed up. The helicopter won't save him. Dokla's unstoppable, and G2 are crushed.
And NRG can go right back to the Baron. They don't drop anyone in the turn. Beautiful, methodical stuff from the LCS #1 seed.
And you were nervous for a second.
Oh,
there,
yeah.
You were worried that they were throwing that Baron, but that turn from NRG was clean. Yikes, still alive. Surely they won't give him access to the pit.
Yike is close. Ignar goes over the wall, exhaust onto the Belveth. Palafox surviving the unleashed power thanks to the stasis. Yike still being scared away by Contracts. He goes back in with a ball breaker. The Belveth getting absolutely slammed in the 1v1 fight. Contracts is not in the pit. Yike might be able to go over the wall. The Baron's still at 2 HP. His cap is going to be taken very low, but Yike ain't back in the pit now either as the Baron's finally going to be secured by Contracts. Broken Blade shows up. He decides to re-engage back over the wall versus Ignar. NRG on the retreat as G2 continues moving forward as 5, but their health bars are low. NRG with the full retreat. Baron in their pockets.
It was a little scrappy, but they did everything correctly. They did everything in their power to keep Yike out of the pit, and they're able to secure the smite. This is a look at the engage again. Beautiful combination from the mid-jungle once again from NRG. Hans Sama is eliminated from the fight. Broken Blade is forced to flash away, and it's just clean up from NRG. Exquisite turn, secures them a Baron, and it's likely going to secure them game 1 of this series.
Palafox and Contracts were such a big story, such big components of NRG wins throughout the summer split. I have to say, though, this Senna pick is doing wonders for them.
Yeah.
An FBI classic here, absolutely in love with it. Let's see if they can finish it out cleanly, though. Dragon will be up in 25 seconds, and with the Baron buff, it is very easy to be methodical, Flowers, and push out all your waves.
I like your comment on the Senna pick, because I believe, going back to draft, it's only been played so far twice in the tournament.
And one was FBI himself.
Yeah, and Senna Tahm Kench is such a different laning experience compared to the standard marksman and support. If you're not used to playing against it, if it's not fresh in your mind, it's easy to be caught off guard against the strengths of what this does, and NRG are taking full advantage. That's the Hex Soul right there if NRG secures this, and the enemy jungler is in the top half of the map. G2 are recognizing they cannot contest this. It's Hex Soul for NRG.
I mean, at this point, gentlemen, it feels like the G2 are just buying time to talk more about what they're going to do in Game 2, because I feel like that they're out of options. The Baron was their best play to turn things around, and that's all gone. NRG now setting up a 1-4. They have Dokla pushing in mid. 4 members using their range. FBI just chipping away at the health bars of G2, and they're limited in their ways to stop it.
The range is so powerful. Gonna be stunned up now by Caps, but Palafox ready to turn it around. Ulti over the top. Mickey gonna be taken low, but he ain't killed yet. Finally dropped. Contracts goes godlike. Hans is ready to jump in, and Caps kills Palafox. It is a 1-for-1 trade saw 4 with the more valuable player dying on NRG's side, but the time that they bought is going to get them into the base. First inhibitor turret, first inhibitor, both down.
G2 just going for a Hail Mary play, trying to get anything that they can to slow NRG down, even slightly, but it will not. An inhibitor is secured at the cost of their mid laner's life.
And that is actually very reassuring to me. Even though people may think, you know, the Baron getting a little messy, this dive getting a little messy, I really feel like NRG have to keep up this pace with the lead that they have in order to actually destroy the Nexus and win the game. You can't afford to get lackadaisical here. You have to keep pushing forward. Yeah. You don't want to let G2 catch back up in this game, and so they force it on in. And Palafox, he does end up going down for the kill, but they also get the tower and the inhibitor here.
I mean, I love what I'm seeing from Palafox right now. Every team fight, it is not about peeling, it is not about trying to just find a pick. He is going in. He is looking constantly for 3-man, 4-man ultimates. He wants to make a highlight reel for himself, and that level of confidence is exactly what North America wants to see from their mid laner.
The best defense is a good offense, Vedius, I heard once.
I mean, the best offense is a good offense, and this man is like, I've got everything I need to go full offense in this game.
Palafox is peeling them before they even need to be peeled. Yeah. That's what's happening. All right, here we go. They're going to congregate around topside here. Bit of a 4-1 split push for NRG. Dokla again trying to keep that mid wave pushed up while the rest of them harass top tower.
Palafox sending in the clone there to just try to scare him off a little bit. The poke from FBI onto the turret, slowly whittling it away. The minion wave finally gets cleared out while Dokla continues applying the pressure back in mid. Super minions are naturally going to push up that bot lane here as well. No Baron for another minute and 45. But once that's up, you know that NRG have full control over the map to move towards it as well. FBI and Ignar maintaining the pressure up here in the top lane. G2 are trapped inside the base. They know that if they lose one more big fight here, the game is done. They've got one last real chance as NRG continue their push. Vault Breaker going to be charged. Turret's not really low enough to hard send it just yet. They're going to keep getting these waves up, but without the Baron, it's pretty easy for G2 and Caps to clear those waves away. Instead, it's going to be Caps getting engaged on. He drops the stasis to stay alive. Massive counter engage coming out from Mickey, but it will not matter. They're still going in. Yike, barely surviving, getting away now with a stopwatch as NRG tries to regroup. Mickey goes for a crash down, but he's only going to be brought down. Yike stays alive under the tier 3 turret as Broken Blade and Hans try to retreat. Contracts leads the charge, and Yike is finally dropped down. The tier 3 turret falls, and with a 5v2 advantage, this should be it. NRG are on their march to the Nexus turrets. All 5 players still alive. Han's gonna be knocked up into the air, taken down. They're all out, they're all in, and NRG are all about this game number 1. All 5 players standing tall as the Nexus will drop, and NRG will take game 1.
Contracts legendary on the Vi. Bignar, deathless on the Tahm Kench. Dokla, deathless on the Cassante. What an immaculate snowball. They stated it before the game. They called their shot. They said, we have to get an early lead and we have to snowball it.
All right, for a little bit more on how that crazy game one went, let's toss it back to the desk.
Thank you so much. NRG finally playing the way a #1 LCS seed deserves to play, where so many before them couldn't. They have shell-shocked G2. They